And we are live. Just wait for a few people to join the chat. Just going through my social media at the moment. I'll wait for some people to join. In fact, I'm just going to turn off my mic for a minute. Hi Lacey, hopefully, yeah, I did turn my, yeah, I'm using Streamlabs. I'm just having to look at my laptop. I'm in the process of just putting out the live stream announcement, because this is completely unplanned. completely unplanned, without any real announcement. So I'm just sending out a few messages to some other friends as well. So we'll just send. Just getting, because this was, as I say, this was completely unplanned and unscripted, as they say. Just send some Facebook friend invites. There we go. Sorry about that. Just wanted to make sure I sent out as many messages as I could, really. But no, here I am drinking Diet Cola. And just, I've got a lamp on next to me that makes the room brighter as well. Otherwise, the picture can be a bit grainy. So hopefully, it won't look too bad. Let me know if the music is too loud or too quiet. I can adjust it, and we can sort of take it from there, really. You know, considering I'm live, I can adjust things as we go. Yeah, so, you know, how's people's weeks been? Week, not weeks, week, or whatever. Feels ages since I last did my last live stream. When did I do my last live stream, in fact? I think it might have been about a week ago when I built my orcs. Let's have a look. Yeah, it was 7 days ago when I built my orcs, probably on the Saturday night, not the Sunday. I have built my orcs now. I can show you some of them. That is the Dakar rig. In fact, it shows up so much better in this light because it's... I mean, that's also a big model. That is a big model. Hey there, Julie. Nice to see you. Lovely to have you here. Thank you for joining. I've been starting these up again. I've sort of been out of the loop live streams, and I'm sort of sending out messages to anyone who wants to join, who'd like to join, I should say, not you know, because I'm going to be honest. Sorry, I hope you can hear me. Something's just gone. I've just knocked my phone over and it's done something to my computer. There we go. You'd have heard me speaking double if... sorry, my my phone cable got stuck, and it fell over. Well, at least that wasn't as bad as when I dropped it in the toilet last night, but them's the breaks. Fortunately, it's still working, so I was half asleep. I got woken up about 2:30 by this strange racket going on. Thank you. Got woken up at 2:30 this morning by this really strange noise outside, and it I don't know what it was. I thought I heard an owl, but it was definitely an animal in distress, and my mum heard it as well, because she's I'm normally a deep sleeper, but this creature, whatever it was, it wasn't a fox. I know what the sound of foxes screeching sounds like, but it was so strange, and it really did wake me up, because I thought it was outside the back door. But my mum and I both went down to the back door to see what it was, because we could turn on the outside light, but we couldn't see anything, and there was nothing there this morning in the back garden. I thought I dreamed it at first. I really thought I dreamed it, but it shook me. It really did shake me. Yeah, so that's my last 24 hours. As I say, I've been building Warhammer 40,000 again. I'm reviving my Space Orc army, so there's one of the big figures. I like the Orcs because they're big and chunky, and they're really fun to paint. I used to play Space Marines. I've got some Space Marines to finish painting as well, for my Chaos Space Marine army. I've gone a bit thick with the metallic spray paint, but I can rescue them. I'll do some dry brushing and some ink washes, so they're my next unit for my Iron Warriors Chaos Space Marine army. They don't look as bad as I thought they would, but yeah, just need to, next time I do it, go a bit easy on the spray paint, which I'll do with my Orcs. I'll give them a metallic spray paint, because there's a lot of metallic pieces to these the models that it took me 3 days to build the Orcs, because I've got other bits and pieces as well for them. I've got a whole tray of figures here, so that took me about a day to build all them in there. And they're just the troops option. And then we've got banner bearer. So that's the banner bearer. That's the war track. With that took me about 2 hours to build. So that's the war track. The weird boy, he's like their psychic. Well, the thing is, these came from the Warhammer 40,000 start. Oh, that's the war boss. He's going to be a lot of fun to paint. But the fortunate thing is, with the starter set, which these came from, and that's the pain boy. He's like a medic. Well, he is a medic. They're actually push fit models, but it's a bit of a bit of a con from Warhammer, I should say, because it says the models are push fit, and yet I still had to glue some parts into place with plastic glue, because some of the parts were not push fit. So I mean, you know, according to my cousin, I getting my words mixed up now. I'm what he calls a seasoned modeller, because I've been doing it now since I was 13. Yeah, how old am I? Yeah, I'm 42 now, so nearly 30 years I've been building and painting Warhammer 40,000 models. You know, so 30 years of a hobby. Whew, who'd have thought? You know, so I've kind of got back in because I'm trying to find other things to spread out from my YouTube interest. I mean, I'm not stopping with YouTube. I'm still going to create content. I mean, I've got the wiki, I've got the fandom Wikipedia I've built, I've got the channel, the novel to edit, and so much lore that I've written that, you know, but I have to I realise now that I need to focus on other things as well. I can't just be stuck doing the same thing. It's not healthy. It's not, because if you focus on one thing, after a while it becomes so routine that you can't think about anything else. You can't focus on anything else. So I think for me, what I need to do is, yes, it's a bit long at 818 pages, so I might have to cut it down into parts. It's set in my fantasy world, actually. The big difference is it's written in the first person, so when the person reads it, they become the listener. It's sort of the lead character telling the story. I wanted to try something different, but it is called the Maximite Guild. It's set in my world. It's set around Maximus. Actually, Maximus is not the lead character. It's actually a character called Arabella Hogg. Maximus is actually a support character in the story, so it doesn't actually evolve around him. It revolves around her relationship with Octavia and Vala, who are senior members in the guild as well. And long story short, it takes them into the desert realm, but it also takes them into a completely new location, the city of Bloodspire in Shadowmire, which you know, it's amazing. I'm going to be honest here. I'm amazed. Sorry about that. It's amazing how much. Yes. Well, I want to edit it first. There's a few things I think are a bit too graphic, and I want to try and not soften it up a bit. I don't want to soften it up, but I also want to make it more acceptable, shall we say. There's a few things I think that are a bit too extreme. You know, it's a dark storyline, but there's parts of it that are dark purely for the sake of it being dark. I want to mould it a bit more, you know, and I think with it being 818 pages long, I think I might have to split it, so it might end up being 3 books, but it depends on if I ever do come to publish it, because it's been a labour of love. It has been a labour of love. And it is, I'll be honest, it's given me a lot of pleasure to explore what I create in a different format. Because obviously I normally do videos, voice acting, and things like that. But now I feel that perhaps because at the time, someone at the very beginning of the project, someone did say to me, "Oh, you shouldn't do content creation. You should just write a novel." That's absolutely fine, and I accept that. But at the time, I didn't have an idea of what I wanted the novel to be about or the direction I wanted it to take. After 4 or 5 years, I felt I had enough material to work with and evolve the story into the format of a novel, because I finally felt that I had enough background and enough lore that I could move into that direction, and I mean, I love writing. Because I write my own scripts. I write. Everything I write, I do rough drafts. Even if it's just a message on social media, I write it out first, and I think to myself, how can I write this better? What can I say? And what will, it's. I had a good English teacher. I mean, I didn't get very high marks for English literature in my education, but I enjoyed English literature, and my English teacher actually said I had a very good, or in her words, a very developed imagination. This is the thing a lot of people don't always realise with autistic people. I've met quite a few people in my life who think I'm a maths genius. That is not the case. My imagination, on the other hand, is probably my most developed element. I mean, as a child, I was always building and playing with Lego, creating storylines. I mean, back then the characters had very basic names. I mean, you had M-Man for M-Tron, Black Man for Blacktron, and then it started branching out into names like Galaxio and names like Marcus Galaxio. But they were always sort of, in the beginning, they were always very simple names. Or, I was playing with my Power Ranger toys as a kid, making up stories, using other bits and pieces from other play sets that I had to create my own stories. So imagination has always been a big part of my mind. It's always been something I've enjoyed working with, and sometimes it can take a one-track journey. Autistic people are known to become. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. The other thing is, autistic people can become what's known as hyperfixated. We can become too focused on one thing, and I think there's been cases of that in my life where I have become fixated on just one thing, and when I become hyperfixated, I don't see. It's like a horse wearing blinkers. You know, I can't see to the left of me, I can't see to the right, I can only see straight ahead. I mean, that's fine in some cases, that's absolutely fine. But at the same time, it can also be not a burden. Certainly not a burden, but it can be a challenge. You know, it can affect the way you look at the world. It can affect the way you interact with the world. Now, obviously, if anyone watching this back, or who is here and not in the chat, please do interact. I love hearing from you. Thank you. Becoming hyperfixated can also be a bit of a stepping stone. Not a stepping stone, a trip hazard. Let's call it a trip hazard. It can trip you up, and I have tripped myself up, metaphorically speaking, many times over. And I'm one of those people that kind of just picks themselves up and dusts themselves off. Easier said than done, I understand. But once you become fixed on a particular idea, a particular concept, it latches onto you. It's like a limpet latching onto a rock. If you try to remove it, it just grips harder and harder and harder, because that way it can't be knocked off by waves or wind or human intervention, and it locks, and you can't sort of, you know, let go of it. You know, I don't know why I'm doing all that. I guess it's just trying to picture it in my head, really. And no matter what you do, it's always with you, and you just try and change the field, you try and change the scope, you try and expand and branch out, but the original fixation is there. It's stuck. You know, no matter how you try and describe it, or, you know, accommodate it or anything like that, it becomes. And yeah, I get that some ideas aren't always working, but, you know, fortunately for me, I've come to the realisation now that it is possibly time to branch out and obviously focus on other things, as well as, you know, not give up on what I love doing, and not ignore it or demolish it. Certainly not demolish it. It's as much a part of me as I am of it, really, I guess. But I need to look at new avenues. I need to look at new things, you know, do new things, try new things. You know, maybe vlogs. You know, I'm thinking about vlogs because I've got my phone. I have got a video camera because that's what I'm using at the moment to use. But, you know, I think, well, that's okay. That's okay. You know, you've been. I mean, I've seen your posts on social media, and, you know, I think it's fantastic what you're doing. You know, that, I think it's, you know, I really do. Well, you know, I will put it this way: the door is always open. The door is always open, but, you know, life life has a way of taking us down different paths, and I think that's the great thing about it, really. I mean, I was talking to a friend earlier today. Well, I was talking to Lacey. I hope you're still in the chat, Lacey. And we were discussing this, and I'm getting back into doing things like the National Trust. I'm getting back into being a room guide, and I'm beginning to do more voluntary work. I'm looking to get back into sort of some form of, I'm looking to get back into some sort of employment, because I mean, the last 18 months, 2025 was for me was a write-off. I won't go into details, but it was one of the worst years I ever had, on a personal level, and basically I got the support I needed, the guidance I needed, and I'm here talking to you. That's the important thing. I am here, and sometimes you have to kind of put into perspective what really is important. And whilst this channel is important to me and my content is important to me, at the same time I've got to look at where I want to be in life, what I need to continue being thank you. I'll send one there. It's just that I mean, one thing that happened last year was I lost my grandma. So I mean, I lost my granddad in 2023, but I lost my grandma early 2025, and that hit me hard. And it was a year I struggled, to be honest. It was a year I struggled. But I won't say I found myself, but I began to understand myself more. And that's the thing. I began to understand who I am, where I am in my life, and what my focus in life has to be, and that's important to me. They say a work-life balance, but sometimes something like a project can become more than just a hobby. It can feel like it can take you over, and I think that's what's happened. And while I won't stop, in the way that I need to take a breather. I think that's the important thing. I need to step back, take a breath, work out what I'm thinking, doing, or focusing on. I mean, it's like I've gotten back into model making. I'm building a railway layout at my model railway club each week. And we're almost to the point where we can see the. This is going to be a really rubbish metaphor, but we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Because for years we spent years trying to build a layout, and then we started from scratch in 2024, and now 2 years down the line we're further than anything we ever built on the old version of the layout. It really has made a big difference and working with my friends, building it. Kind of makes you reflect on priorities and things, and there's things I need to prioritise over other things. I guess in a way I've burnt myself out, to be honest, and I think it's not the end, it's a new beginning. It's giving myself some breathing space, and thinking about the directions I want to go. I don't just want, because I've had days where I think to myself that I'm just a one-trick pony, and that is one of the worst things to think. But it's all in here. It's all up here. Yeah, and you think to yourself, am I doing enough? But you get to a point where you realise you're pushing yourself harder and harder and harder, and you're not taking time to step back, look at the bigger picture, and actually breathe. And I've had a rough few days this week. I think the big problem I've always had is I've been driven by numbers, and I shouldn't be. I really shouldn't be. Because that is not a measurement of your worth. I've become very philosophical in my thinking in the last year or so. I've really started thinking more about who I am as a person, where I am, what I'm doing with my life. Exactly. And that's not to say I'm not enjoying doing it, but I've lost the focus on other things that I also enjoy and love doing, and that's the thing. I've let it become the sole measurement of myself, when I now realise there's so much more I've achieved and so much more I've been involved with and I am involved with, that makes it so much more, I'm trying to think of the words, but the words have gone. And I just, I think it means that certain uploads will be a lot more spaced out. I hope to get a new computer room very soon sorted, which might allow me to do some better recording, and create more audio. But I think I'm going to do other things as well. I am going to do videos about model making. I am going to do videos when I go out. I'm going to do vlogs. I'm going to do updates. I'm going to do shorts. The problem is, I say all this and then I don't deliver. So I think I've really got to focus on actually delivering what I'm saying, really, because it's not fair to say all these things and then not deliver. I really do think that. So there are going to be some changes. There are going to be some different contexts and content. I think it's important that I start to branch out, and I always said that at the time. I think, I won't say I got cocky, because I don't think that's the right word, but I became too enthralled by what I've been doing. and perhaps overconfident. Overconfident, I think, is a better word. And that's not me. That's really not me. I'm confident, but I let it change me. I kind of feel like I've let it change me, and that's on me, and I want to get back to doing things as I intended, making other videos on top of, alongside, not on top of, alongside what I set out to do, because I wouldn't give up what I've been doing for the last 6 years for the entire world, because I have collaborated with some fantastic people, yourself included, Julie. I mean, Sage, Jodie, Yoloma, who else did I collaborate with? Irma La Dolce ASMR, Miss T ASMR, it's really awful because there's so many people I've forgotten. And I was going through my videos earlier today, tidying them up, and there are so many people on those videos that are no longer active or productive in the community. You realise what you've lost. You realise what's been lost, and the fact that I've helped to preserve some of that content, or some of their presence, is really important to me, because it should never have been about me, and I hope it's never been about me, because it's incredible how many people have just it's incredible how many people have just disappeared from the community. And I absolutely respect that life finds a way, as Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park once said. Life finds a way, and I wish them all the very best in whatever they're doing, whatever they're doing now with their lives, whoever they're with, wherever they are, because being able to preserve a part of them and being able to share it is just so meaningful to me, because you're kind of helping keep their content spirit alive. If that sounds really silly, but I hope people understand what I'm trying to say. But excuse me. Yeah, still being able to show something that they made and created. Yes, it was for my channel, but at the same time, it's still their work. It's still their creative energy. It's still their imagination, their presence. I think I'm going to stop that line of thought now, because I don't want to go into the realms of becoming too bogged down about it, to be honest. But I'm grateful to them. I am genuinely and honestly, eternally grateful to them for being a part of what I've created, You know, I couldn't have done it without them. And I've moved the story on. I've changed tactics. I've, you know, with the soft reboot and everything, and that's okay as well, because it gives me a new direction to go. But for fear of repeating myself, I do have to try other things as well. I do have to take new avenues, because it's important for me, and it's healthy to do that, you know, rather than trying to focus on one thing and one thing only. Variety is the spice of life, as they say, and I think I need to become a variety content creator in order for my own welfare, really. And I think it will give me new enjoyment. It will give me fresh ideas, because I want to do railways. I want to get back to heritage railways, and I want to make heritage railway videos. You know, in the last couple of months, let's just say, the world has kind of opened up for me. I have more accessibility now, that allows me to go places and see more places. You know, I want to get back to London. I want to travel around parts of Britain I've never been to. You know, I want to see places I haven't been to for a long time. Yes, focus on playing Word Blitz as well. Yes, I love that game. Absolutely love that game, because you click on the letters and sometimes it comes up with words you've never even heard of. You know, if anyone's watching back and you're on Facebook, play Word Blitz, because it's such a clever game. It's a word search. It's basically a word search, but it really makes you think, because you think, is what I'm spelling really a word? And it makes you start doing different combinations of letters, because you don't know what's a word and what's not. And then you can flip to Netnaba, to Nettinba. Someone watches the It Crowd. Someone once told me that I'm reminded of someone once said that I remind them of Moss from the It Crowd, or the IT Crowd, I should say, not It Crowd, IT Crowd. Yeah. No, but yeah, if you're on Facebook and you're looking for a good game, Word Blitz is the one. I also play the Scrabble game, and I've started playing the shape and colour matching game, because I'm also into Mahjong. I love playing Mahjong. Because I used to play it a long time ago on my laptop. Not the laptop I've got at the moment, previous laptop. And I'm really into puzzle games. Even though I'm not sort of academically... Well, you don't have to be academic to play puzzle games. You can just, that's wrong of me to say, I apologise. But if you like a good brain scratching game, as who said that once? It was an ASM artist I heard say it, and I can't remember who it was. But they said it anyway. A brain scratching game. Then play the games on Facebook, because they are really, really good, and they really make you think. And you can challenge your friends as well. And you, Julie, thank you for joining. It's been a real pleasure to hear from you. Thank you. Oh dear. Actually, I'm just going to get another drink. So I'm going to be right back. And we're back. Just check my messages. Let's get something a bit more get something a bit more jaunty on. That's better. It sounded a bit ominous, that previous bit of music. Iced tea. Ooh. So yeah, sorry, I was busy just sorting something out. I'm kind of thinking as I said, branching out and building on what I should have been building on for the last few years. So yeah, I think it'll be healthy, and it'll be healthy for me and my mind and my mental health, you know. So definitely do a few more vlogs. Definitely going to do a few more vlogs. Love this track. What's this track called? Bastille Unbound by Martin Landstrom. Sounds like something you'd hear in a 1970s BBC drama. And we're back. Sorry about that. I was checking something else out. Not a live stream. Some messages I'd received. I just wanted to. I'll share that to it. So, you know, as I was saying earlier, he says knocking his mason jar of iced tea into the microphone. And I'm just sort of checking through Oh yeah, I watched a really good film this evening. Ready or Not, Here I Come. Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Really good film. Enjoyed the first film, and the saw the first film obviously when it came out, and watched it on Disney Plus. The second film, I should say, on Disney Plus. I think that's something else I want to do as well. I want to start watching more things. You know, I think I've lost touch with sort of DVD and Blu-ray and things like that. I want to start getting back to doing the things I really enjoy. You know, things there we go. You can see it behind there. I've got whole shelves of classic Doctor Who DVDs that I rarely watch. So, you know, I really want to get back watching them. You know, Doctor Who. You know, from William Hartnell through to Sylvester McCoy. You know, but the other thing is I also want to get them in order of broadcast, so from Unearthly Child up to Survival, although I am missing a few. I need to work out which ones I'm missing, which story arc, and because I put them into story arcs as well. What am I looking for? I'm looking for something. Yeah, I want to put them into story order of story broadcast. So Unearthly Child, 23rd of November 1963 to end of Survival, which was a 3-parter. Survival. When did part 3 of Survival get broadcast? Oh yeah, 6th of December 1989. So everywhere from all the stories from 23rd of November 1963 to 6th of December 1989. Of course, I grew up through most of Doctor Who's wilderness years. But, you know, I've got a collection of Big Finish. I keep pointing at the wrong thing, but in this cabinet here are all my Big Finish audio Doctor Who stories. Which I haven't got every single Big Finish audio story, but I've got enough to enjoy them. There's a few that I want to get, including Doctor Who and the Pirates, which featured the late Bill Oddie, who sadly passed away this last week. But I've got a lot of Doctor Who audio that I really should get back onto my laptop and listen to. I might have to get a second external hard drive, because so much of my hard drive has been taken up now with project content that I've kind of lost track of what's on there and what's not. I kind of think what I might try and do is compress the folders into zip files and try and control some of the stuff that way. But yeah, I am a Whovian. I am a Whovian. I did write fan fiction a few years ago that never saw the light of day, called The Soul Machination, and it's still on my computer, but I was never satisfied with it, so I never took it any further. I wrote it for the 50th anniversary, so we're talking about 13 years ago. And then I thought I might try and work it for the 60th anniversary, but that was 3 years ago. So it feels crazy that the 60th anniversary, you know, we're getting closer to the 70th anniversary than, you know, it just feels weird, you know. I mean, as I said earlier in this live stream, I'm 42. I'm closer to 50 now than I am to 20. You know, that's scary. I'm close to 50. Well, but you know, I'm glad you know. Just checking something. But yeah, you know, get back into my love of Doctor Who, building more Lego. I want to do Lego building videos. I want to do model painting videos. I want to do sort of maybe review my favourite Doctor Who stories. That might be a bit more complicated because I'm not a natural reviewer, so I might have to think about that one a bit more. But I want to do so much more with this channel. I mean, it's been good the way it's been for the last Sorry, I'm just fiddling with this lamp because it's giving me some extra light. You know, but there's so much more I could do. I can do, not could do, I can do. And I think I certainly don't think I've missed the boat. I haven't missed the boat. It's just that I've become attached. As I said earlier, like a limpet, I've become attached to what is important to me and always will be important to me. But I've got to find a healthy balance, between the project, as I will always refer to it, and sorry that my camera keeps shaking. It's sitting on top of my second screen because I haven't got anywhere to mount it. So hopefully when I get my new hobby room, I will have somewhere I can mount it. I will try and figure out how to do that. This sounds a bit creepy. What's this track called? Oh, The Curse. I don't like that. That's better. On a stroller. No, let's not have creepy music. Let's have something a bit more upbeat. And so I'm just checking my Streamlabs message has come up. Close that window. There we go. If you sometimes see me looking down to your right, to my left, which is why I keep getting... Look, I get that right this time. I actually point to my Doctor Who DVDs and my CDs because I can see, and yet when I've done that before, I've pointed towards Gonzo and Grogu. Gonzo and Grogu. That sounds like a double act. Oh, and lower down there is Tesla and Albert, my plush scientists. Tell you what, so I bought these at the Science Museum quite a few years ago when they were a thing. But yes, I have a plush Nikola Tesla and a plush Albert Einstein. I actually have, and they're what's known as Little Thinkers, by the Unemployed Philosophers Guild. So my two favourite men of science, Tesla and I got them at the Science Museum in London. I don't know if they still make them. Blimey, they cost me 20 quid at the time. But yeah, because look at that when you put them together like that. But yeah, they sit next to each other in my hobby room, and no doubt they'll continue to sit next to each other in my new hobby room when it comes about. But yeah, just take my headphones off so I can put them back. There goes Einstein. And there goes Tesla. But yeah, because the other thing I want to do is more steampunk related content as well, because I'm also a I'm not very good at being a steampunk, but closest I get to it is drinking iced tea from a mason jar. It says trying to get it in picture. So yeah, iced tea in a mason jar. No, I've got steampunk attire, and it's really the attire you see Maximus wearing in Lord of War and Heartache, because obviously he's based on me. He's sort of the side of me I really let off the leash, as the saying goes. But it's good that I created him, really. I'm just checking something. Something's gone funny with my computer. No, it seems to be fine. Slight blip. Incidentally, if you are watching and you want to interact with the chat, please do so. You're more than welcome to be here. And of course, if you, I will put when the description comes up, I will add my channel email address, because if you're interested in taking part in Lord of War and Heartache Tales of the Caravan, please do drop me a message. I know I've been talking about branching out and all that, but it is a big part of this channel, and I'd like to invite everyone who's interested to take part. You know, I don't approach people, people approach me. That's always been my philosophy. You know, it doesn't feel right approaching people. Inviting them in and letting them decide for themselves is how I like to work. But yeah, I think what I would need is a cool down period, really. Focus on other things I enjoy. And no, that's okay. I was just saying about earlier on, I was Julie, who was in the chat earlier, I was saying that I was talking to you earlier, because obviously your name was in the chat previously, about branching out, doing new things like vlogs and shorts, and you know, I want to do more. I was saying I want to do more Lego vlogs, Doctor Who related videos, Warhammer. I mean, I've even got a starter box, because I've always wanted to play it. This is the starter box. Magic the Gathering. Hang on, I just need to check my Streamlabs, because oh no, there we go. I got the beginner box for Magic the Gathering because I want to learn how to play the game. But that's the other thing though, I have got 4 standard decks. I've got Eerie, Angels, which is green and white. Eerie is white and blue. Angels is green and white. I've got Pirates, which is blue and red. And Life Gain, which is white and black. I'll tell you who's inspired me to do this, to get into Avatar. Not Avatar, that's the box. That's the name of the box. Who inspired me to get into Magic the Gathering. And that is Morica ASMR. If you're not familiar with Morica ASMR, I recommend you go and see her channel, because she's really good. She's one of the few ASMR content creators I find myself falling asleep to in the best possible way. You know, she has a really relaxing, smooth ASMR voice. But she's also a Magic the Gathering player, and she has done lots of different videos on the game of her decks that she's got. She plays what's known as commander decks. These standard decks have about 60 cards in them, whereas a commander deck is 99 different cards and 1 legendary card, which becomes your commander. I did look at the price of a commander deck, but they're quite expensive, so I've gone for cheaper, the beginner box set, which is Avatar, and the 4. I didn't buy them all at once, I bought them all separately over time. But what I want to do is build a commander deck from the cards. I mean, at the moment I'll probably only be able to build probably only be able to build a blue, a white, and a red deck. Obviously, as time goes on and other cards come into it, I can build other command decks. Just in case you're interested, Lacey, I'm drinking iced tea from a mason jar. I know that sounds random to say, but yeah, and it's lemon iced tea. So, but you know, there's things, so much I want to do that I've realised I've not missed out on, because you never really miss out on anything, but at the same time you realise that you've forgotten things. And I think it's important that I reconnect with what I've forgotten, really. I've become so focused, not absorbed, well, I kind of have become absorbed into what I create, and that's okay, but I think you've got to... Hang on, one moment. That's all right. That's all right. I sometimes have those. But I think sometimes you can become too absorbed in what you're doing, as you know. And I think, for me, reconnecting with those things is important. Like, as I said earlier, I want to do more Lego videos. I want to do more Warhammer videos. I want to do Doctor Who related videos. Let's see if I get this right. Yeah, because down here, they're all my Doctor Who DVDs. I'm having to look at my Streamlabs to make sure I get the finger in the right place. Yes, I am planning to go out more. Accessibility for me has expanded, so I can go to more places, and hopefully if I get a part-time job, or when I get a part-time job, that will give me more things to... that will give me more freedom to go places, because I'd like to get back to London. I'd like to do more places that I've never been to before. London, you know, places. Yeah, I really want to try and be more active. As I say, the story is still going to continue. The storyline is still going to continue. And I will say this, because I say this every time: anyone who wants to take part is welcome to join. I will update the part of the description with my email address, which is my channel email address, so that anyone who's interested can contact me. But it's not taking the priority anymore. It's not going to take the priority. I have to... To me it sounds selfish, but I've got to make myself the priority, I think, for my own welfare, my own well-being. It's not healthy being stuck worrying about things I can't control, things I'm not in control of, and I think that's been the big problem. I've been focused on the things I can't control when I should be focusing on the things I can control. And, you know, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's not good for my mental health. It's not good for my physical health. It's not good for my social welfare. You know, I need to start thinking more about how I approach what I'm doing, and where I'm taking it from. Really, I need to be able to actually look at what I'm doing and say, that's what I'm doing today, that's how I'm going to do it, that's where it's coming from. And I think it's in, rather than trying to be sort of stuck in a ever decreasing circle, or spiraling. The last thing I want to do is spiral, because I've spiraled before and it's done me absolutely no good whatsoever. It's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. Oh, did I freeze then? Ah, yeah. But it's. I think today has been a bit of a. I'm not going to say revelation. That's the wrong word. But it's. I've taken today with a lot of thought and a lot of, as I said, the conversation we had earlier, Lacey, where you suggested branching out and expanding my horizons, I think is what triggered. Well, no, I don't think it has triggered the thought of adapting and modifying and changing, and I think it will be for the better. I don't want to get up and be in the morning and just go onto my computer and spend the whole day on there. That is not healthy. I need to do other things. I really do, and I need to focus on the things I'm passionate about. And it's not just what's on my YouTube channel at the moment. There's so much more, and I've ignored it, and I think I need to adapt. I need to think again, not quit, because there's no way I'm going to quit. I'm not going to tear everything down. I'm not going to demolish everything. I'm not going to destroy everything. I'm just regrouping, refocusing, restructuring. I think restructuring is a better term to use, because I think it's what it is needed. As I say, sorry if the camera keeps wobbling. It's actually because it's sitting on my computer screen. So no, I'm not going to destroy anything. Believe me, I've realised that what I need to do is not make it the main focus of everything I've ever done. I think what's important is I need to. I know I'm sort of going in a circle, repeating what I've said, but I think it's important that I realise that I need to rebuild the parts that have always been important to me, but I've never shown those sides of me that make me a whole, that make me the whole person. You know, I've only shown a small percentage of who I am, and I think I've forgotten that. I honestly think I've forgotten that, and I kind of want to make it a journey, you know, a journey of rediscovery, but I want to share it with people. I want to make it that, yes, you know, Lord of War and Heartache is still going to continue. Tales of the Caravan is still going to continue. It's just not going to be the primary focus. It's going to be a part of me, rather than what people might think is the whole of me. I want to show different aspects of what I do, what I enjoy doing, and where I enjoy going, and who I enjoy being with, you know, and I think sometimes you have to talk to a friend to realise these things, you know, because I've been idly walking around in metaphorical darkness for a long time, trying to figure things out, and sometimes you just have to stop and breathe and think and focus, and then you start to think to yourself, yeah, it's me, but it's not the whole of me. What the world sees of me is only a tiny percentage, and I've got so much more to offer. I've got so much more that I can do and create and share. There's so much more to me that I want to share, you know. I want to do vlog updates, I want to do shorts, I want to do... Oh, thank you. This is from my live stream playlist on epidemicsound.com. Here's the link if so you can have a look. Obviously I can't send you the playlist because that's actually from my account, so the link would be broken if I sent you the full link, but that's the link to the website. So I think I've got an insect bite, just started itching. But in all honesty, and the thing is, I need to reconnect with people. I genuinely need to reconnect with people, because I have forgotten not just who I am, but who other people are. I need to get back into the community. I need to get back into communicating, you know. Oh, spider bites are horrible. Yeah, I got stung by a bee quite a long time ago, but that was painful. Yeah. But I think what's important is I reconnect with people. I open up a bit more. I've been too much of a closed book, really. I mean, I don't want to go into every little detail or anything. I just want to put myself out there more and be more active, and you know, online and actually speak to people like I'm doing now, you know, actually openly communicate with people on you know, social media. Maybe I'll be honest, I do sometimes wonder if the problem is me. Not in the sense that, you know, I think I've worded that wrong. That's really wrong, but of me to say that, and I apologise. But I sometimes wonder if I've actually really put myself out there, you know, if I've kind of I'm trying to think of the words I want to say, but again, I can't think of what I really want to say, you know. I think what I want to say is I want to rebuild the community that I feel I've neglected, you know, and I think, you know, I want to get back to. I know I can't go back as it was before. That's okay. Yeah, no worries. But I think what I want to do is reconnect. Reconnection is important than anything. I think I need to remind myself that, you know, I am just one person in a world of millions, and connection is more important than anything. You know, being there for others like they would be for me. And I've kind of neglected that. I feel I've neglected that. And I feel like I've let go of things I shouldn't have let go of. I've kind of forgotten, you know, where I've come from and where I'm going. And I think I just you know, the words have gone. But in all seriousness, you know, I need to put myself back out there, you know, really remind myself what's important, what is priority, what isn't, you know. I think in a way I've sort of one sec. Sorry about that, just needed a bit of a breather. Sometimes it gets a bit heavy. Sometimes my thoughts get a bit heavy and I just need to take a breath and regroup, as it were. Yeah, such is life. Such is life. Actually, I will be right back. And we're back. Please, obviously, do interact with the chat. It's nice to... You can tell I'm getting tired. I'm beginning to lose my train of thought. Yeah, you know, if you're new here, welcome. Please do interact with the chat. I enjoyed talking with you. Oh, been going nearly 2 hours. Blimey. And we're back. Sorry about that. Had to take a quick break. If hello to the 3 people watching, please do interact with the chat. It's always lovely to talk to whoever's in the chat. Sorry, I'm just checking some messages. No. But yes, please do interact with the chat. It's always lovely to see new people in the conversation. Just checking some messages on my phone. Nothing new. How long have I been going? About 2 hours 10 minutes. Anyway, I'm going to end this. Live stream. I've been going for about 2 hours 10 minutes, and I've basically got to be up in the morning. So I think that's a good time. But I will be going live again this week. I don't know what day. It might be unannounced like today. But anyway, thanks for joining me, and I'm going to head off. So good night from me, and thank you for joining me.